Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, we'll see a question based on projection of solids, projection of a pentagonal pyramid. The question is, a pentagonal pyramid height 60 mm and base edge 30 mm is resting on a corner of its base. The lateral edge containing that corner is inclined at 60 degrees with HP and the axis is inclined at 40 degrees with VP. Draw the projection when the nearest point is at a distance of 20 mm away from VP and the base is to the left of the apex and nearer to VP. So here the object is a pentagonal pyramid. First you draw a reference line. Then since the pentagonal pyramid is resting on a corner of its base, so that corner should come on the right side. So that means pentagon you have to start with a edge on the left side perpendicular like this. So perpendicular to this reference line, you draw a line at a distance of having a length of 30 mm perpendicular to this line you want to draw. Now then you can take for a pentagon included angle is 108 degrees. So then take 108 degrees and draw the next edge, and again 108 and draw the next edge. In that way you can construct a pentagon. So since the object is resting on a corner of its base, corner should come on the right side, so edge should come on the left side. So in that way you construct a pentagon like this. Name it as A, B, C, D, E, and now do the dimension. Now you want to locate the centroid. To locate the centroid, from a corner draw a line to the opposite line midpoint. Then another corner here to the opposite line midpoint, here midpoint of this line. So these two lines will meet here, so that is the apex. Now you can erase the unwanted extension of this line, the line from this apex to the edge, you can erase that. So only line should be from this corner to from this apex to all corners. So 5 corners you want to draw a line. So name it as O. So do the dimension 30 mm. Now this is the top view. Now to get the front view, just project all these points to the reference line. Now since the height of the object is given as 60 mm, from this point you mark height of the object 60 mm. Use a chain line to represent the axis. Now this is O dash. This is the apex and it is O dash. Do the dimension 60 mm. Now to get you project all these points, name these points here. This point will be, since here this is the front view, so this is top view, and the top view, if you see from front, you can see the front view. So from here, if you want to get the points here, you want to view this object from here, from this bottom. So that means when you view this from here, here you can see B and then A. So B is coming first and then is A. So that means because of B, A is invisible. So this point will be B dash, A dash. This will be C and E, so this is C dash and E dash. Since the point is the second point is inside bracket because it is invisible. Here it is A is invisible and here E is invisible, so that is inside bracket. Now this is D. Now you can draw slant lines to get the front view of this position. Now you want to, it is given that slant edge containing the point containing the corner is inclined 60 degrees. That means this is the slant edge, O dash D dash. O dash D dash is inclined 60 degrees. So you want to turn this diagram at an angle 60 degrees. So take this, measure this dimension and from mark a point here and draw a line at 60 degrees having that dimension. This dimension here at 60 degrees. Now measure this angle and this length. So from here, from this line, you measure that angle, mark that angle and draw that line of same length, this length. Complete that triangle. Now measure this dimension from here to here and here to here. Mark the dimension here and here. Use a chain line to draw this line and a dark line to draw this line. Complete that position. Now you can name that with suffix 1. This is O1 dash. This is B1 dash and A1 dash. This is C1 dash and E1 dash, and this is D1 dash. Now to get the fourth diagram, you just draw projection lines from here like this. Now draw vertical lines from all these points, from O1 dash to O, D1 dash to D, A1 dash to A, B1 dash to B, C1 dash to C, and E1 dash to E. So you'll get 5 points here and one apex. So connect those lines like this. Connect those points by using straight lines like this. A, B, C, D, A, then OA, OB, OC, OD, and OE. Now since in this case, since we are turning this object towards right, and you consider the first diagram, in this diagram, fourth diagram, some points will be invisible. Some lines will be invisible. How to locate that line? So first, to find the invisible point here, invisible lines here, you want to consider the first diagram. So in the first diagram, the point D is coming on the right side. So you consider the top and bottom extremes, E and C. Top and bottom extremes. Since the object is turned towards right, top and bottom extremes right side point. So that is D. So that means in this diagram, all the points, all the lines to the point D will be invisible. So from D you have D1 E1, D1 O1 and D1 C1. So that means D is invisible here. So three lines, all these three lines will be invisible. So you have to use chain line to dotted line to represent that line, since it is invisible. Now it is given that the axis is inclined 40 degrees with the vertical plane. So that means you want to draw this, you want to turn this object at 40 degrees. So draw a line, mark a point and draw a line at 40 degrees. Now also it is given that the nearest point is at a distance of 20 mm away from VP. That means when you turn this object like this, the nearest point will be obviously A. So O will be the nearest point to the VP, not E or A will be the nearest point to the reference line or VP, not E or O. So A will be the nearest point to the VP. So that means now you draw a line at 40 degrees like this. Now it is given that this point is 20 mm away from VP. So from here you mark 20 mm away and draw a line like this. Now you have drawn this 40 degree line and 20 mm away one more line like this. Now it is obviously the point A will be the nearest point when you turn it more than 40 degrees. So that means distance from here to here, this is 15 mm, this is 30 mm, so half is 15 mm, this is 30 and half is 15 mm. So from here you mark 15 mm perpendicular to this line, 40 degree line. So you have to mark 15 mm perpendicular to this line to get this point. Now once you get that point, you can draw this line. Then now from here you mark this dimension and this dimension like this. From here you mark that dimension here, this one and this one. Now you can from this point, from here you mark this dimension downwards and other dimension, this one and this one. From here you mark upwards and downwards and D. So you can connect that all those points and you can use dotted line to represent the point D. Now to get the final position, you just draw projection lines like this from all these points. Then from here also you draw projection lines. You can get all these 5 points here and apex. Now just connect those points to get the straight lines. Now here in this diagram, since the base is coming towards VP and observer is here, so some lines will be invisible here. So since the observer is here and this is the front view, the base is facing towards VP. So that means you can see in this diagram some points are inside bracket. So since base is away from observer or near to VP, base is invisible. So now what you want to do is, first you mark the border as visible, then consider this diagram. So this is the outermost diagram line is the border. Now consider this diagram. In this some points are coming inside bracket. So remaining lines to those points will be invisible. So remaining lines to the point A and E will be invisible. Since these A and E are invisible, remaining lines to, after marking the border, remaining lines to the point A which are coming inside bracket here will be invisible. So here A and E are inside bracket. So A and E remaining lines will be invisible. But that means AB, AO and AE will be invisible. So the line ED is already you marked it as a border line. So that means only these three lines will be invisible. All other lines will be visible. So you mark the invisible lines by using this principle. After marking the border, since the base is away from the observer, base is invisible. So since the base is invisible, you mark the border. After marking the border, consider this diagram. In this diagram, whatever points are inside bracket, consider those points, and all the remaining lines to those points will be invisible. So that means here you have only three lines will be invisible, and this line ED will be visible because it's a part of border. So that means that is visible. So that means after marking the invisible lines, here three lines, all remaining lines you can mark it as visible lines. Now you want to mark the axis. To mark the axis, consider a point here from one point to another one corner to another opposite line midpoint, you can draw a line. Another corner to opposite line midpoint, you can draw a line. So meeting of those points will give you this point. From here you can draw that chain line, so that will be the axis. So in that way you can complete the diagram. Now hope you understood this, how to solve this question. And if you kindly like this video, and please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much.